You may be wondering how I'm gonna start this video. Why did you do this? Percy, who has been producing for 6 months, hit me up with this rage beat and asked me to help them with their mix. So I thought I'd fix their beat and give my tips for getting a great mix. So here's 9 mixing tips that you need to know. So let's listen to the beat. You're actually not doing any mixing whatsoever, just to start out, because what I like to have to control my peaks of my entire beat, I like to put a soft clipper on my master. If you didn't know, this is going to saturate anything that's exceeding your threshold, which is set to negative 4.4 dB by default. Why did you do this? Bro, why did you turn your master all the way up? I didn't even realize that. Like, that's just something I don't expect to see, so I don't even think to look there. Crazy. Just, yeah, leave your master channel at 0 dB. You don't need to do anything like that, please. Now we have so much more headroom to work with. I'm throwing out the mixing buzzwords. Now you're doing some stuff with your EQ. Doing something pretty good here, like you're cutting out the lows that you don't want. I'd say for rage beats, you can kind of cut more highs out. As for your chords, it would be good to just kind of have a little bit more going on, I think. And I feel like this needs to go down. Now you got this really gross, ugly sounding lead here. To fix that, we're gonna cut out a lot of the high end. Your lead is super dry, so we're gonna add some reverb. I'd say with your melody here, especially for rage, don't take these crazy jumps. Rage lead patterns typically move stepwise, which just means that they're moving by like one space, by one note in the scale. You can get kind of creative with the rhythm, I guess. And then when you want to have that climax in your melody, that's when you can take a bigger jump. And to give your lead that gliding sound, I'm just going to turn on the portamento here. So with your 808, you should probably be playing something that's harmonic with your melody. And playing this sixth here doesn't really make much sense. But then this makes sense because now you're switching to the 6th chord. And this kind of works because this is the 5th of this chord. Now to really make your 808 hit, I'm just gonna turn it up with the EQ knob here. Now your 808 sounds a little bit muddy with everything else, so just to deal with that, we're gonna throw a soft clipper on there as well. And like I said earlier, that's gonna saturate what you have. And it's also gonna control those peaks so your 808's not clipping. Now to make sure all of my sounds are leveled the way I want, I go through each sound and solo them one by one, starting at what should be loudest and going down to what's quieter. And I'm just making sure that in relation to everything else, it sounds good. So maybe I'm gonna turn the clap down a tiny bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, this hi-hat sample's kind of doo-doo. I think some of your rolls are a little confused. And to add to this beat, you want to throw in other drum sounds and perks. Just add in some stuff to build out that bounce. Now, one of the most important mixing techniques that I've ever learned is making a bus for your sounds. So all you need to do for that is come down to this little thing, click the arrow, whatever, find an empty mixer channel and then click the arrow below it. And now you've just routed that sound to that channel. So do that for all the other sounds that you have that you want to route to that channel. So here I've just made a melody bus. And when you treat the entire melody as one thing when you're mixing, you're gonna get a more cohesive mix on that melody. Another thing I really like to do with my melodies is add some compression. And when you compress the whole melody together, it's gonna sound more cohesive and glued together as a whole. Hey Riley, I've been making beats for about 4 to 5 months now. This beat I just made recently, and I need your help fixing it and some mixing advice. You've got some good ideas, but there's definitely a few problems. When you're mixing beats, you want to make sure you're getting the most out of every sound because you only have a limited amount of space. So what I want to do with your 808 is I want to turn that up because I think you can get more out of it. I also think this glide is a little goofy because it's so long. And honestly, you might be doing a little too much melodically with your 808. Now to make sure your kick and 808 actually sound good together, you need to understand what the problem is. Both sounds are taking up a similar frequency space, and when you hear that weird clashing sound, it's pretty much because the waveform of your 808 and kick aren't lining up. So there's a few things you can do to fix that. But one thing you could do is you could pitch your kicks a little bit just so that they line up better. But if you don't want to mess around with the pitch of your kicks, you can also reverse the polarity of them, and that just flips the waveform the other way. I'm also going to shorten your kick a little bit just so the tail isn't as much of an issue. And to blend the kick and 808 together a little bit better, I'm going to turn the kick down a bit more. When you're going through your mix, when you're going through each and every sound, you want to make sure you're getting from the sound what you want. Now this is a doo-doo hi-hat sample, so we're going to make sure you're getting what you want in a better sound. Now you also said you wanted some tips for this drill section. You're getting a little too carried away with your 808. We can calm down here. Let's not do all this nonsense. Let's shorten your glides. We don't need these crazy long glides. And I think it'd be cool if you went to a different note here maybe. This is a little over the top, like you're just everywhere here. And that's kind of the problem. You don't need to be this all over the place with our drill stuff. Now for your drill kick, you want it to be hitting really hard and chunky. And to make it stand out more, you can sidechain it to your 808. So you just got to come down to that little arrow we talked about earlier, right click that and press sidechain to this track. Then in your 808, open up Fruity Limiter. Make sure the sidechain's set to your kick. I like to turn my knee up, turn my threshold down, keep the attack low, and then turn the release down as well. By the way, if you want to send me your beats for these types of videos, all the information you need is down in the pinned comment. But while you're down there, why not leave a like?